guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. I'm glad to have you all here with me today. Talking about some champions that honestly have just impressed me, have impressed the hell out of me lately inside the game.
Who are these people?
These are newish champions, meaning like they're not brand spanking new. I want to make sure that you guys actually have a couple of them at least, right?
You know, you are so kind.
Moreover, I need some time to play around with these dudes and dudettes, see what they got, you know? So that's what we're going to do today. I would say the last year-ish for most of these champions released inside the game. And also, let me know if you want to have a follow-up video on ones that did not, the inverse of today's video, ones that did not impress me. I'm looking at you.
Who, him? Who? Him?
Who, him? Yuger. Yuger the Worm Eater, I'm looking at you, bro. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it here. I want to start by actually doing a little showcase, a little mini showcase on the first champion, because she's the only one that's actually not like really new on the list, right? And it's a champion that just got a buff like recently in the game, and it's Supreme Aethel. Supreme Aethel, like, I think they did a hell of a job with her. I really do. Great buff. She's now very, very solid. I don't think she's the best Void Legendary in the game, but she's no longer a champion that you pull and you get super disappointed out of a Void Shard, right? She's still pretty squishy. She's got this ability where she now has increased accuracy, extra turn, increased attack, increased crit rate, increased shield. What? Increased crit rate, increased attack with the shield. Her shield is actually mammoth. It's based on her attack. It's a big, big, big girl shield for Aethel. They changed around the A2 Cold Company. Now she places the freeze before she attacks. It used to be the other way around, and you might be saying, why would we want that? Because the freeze has damage mitigation built in, so we're not getting more damage. What the heck? Well, they added this ignore enemy defense on enemies under freeze, which she's placing the freeze ahead of time, so that's perfect. And most importantly, they jacked the hell out of these multipliers up on the A2 and the A1 abilities. She also has the extra turn mechanic, as we already mentioned in her kit, and she has this really cool ability that happens, or that procs, I should say, all the freaking time. A 30% chance to place a freeze debuff on the attackers for one turn when she's hit while under a shield, which she almost always is because she has it in her own kit as well. And then a 50% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for one turn whenever a shield is removed by taking damage. I've always thought this is a busted passive, but her damage just sucks so bad that it didn't matter. Well, now I'm here to tell you, her damage is actually there now. It's there now. So now she's like, I can't believe I'm saying this about her because I'm so conditioned to her sucking so bad. But now all of a sudden, she's like my favorite freeze champion in the game. She's a billion quadrillion times better, literally a billion quadrillion, than like a Gurgo the Augur. Look at that. I mean, we have two frozen, she hasn't even taken a turn yet, and we already have two frozen enemies here, right? I mean, come on, dude. That's great. That is great. All right, well, how about taking a turn here? We don't have all day, Supreme Aethel. All right, here she goes. Look at her shield. Look at the size of this shield right here. That's a big girl shield right there. And then she comes in with the A2. She's ignoring defense already on these targets. Yeah, Supreme Aethel. I have a whole guide on her in my Raid Shadow Legends Champion Guide YouTube channel. Check it out as well. So yeah, kind of cheating on her because she's not new, but she's new. This version of her is new and improved. Absolutely. All right. I want to talk about one that I regret the way that I handled Zena, Warrior Princess in the game. I regret the way I handled it. I was so upset and outraged at like the just flat out, you know, champion pass sounds like a really cool new feature to the game. Oh, great. I can work my way to getting my hands on an awesome legendary champion. Cool. But no, you have to buy her. You have to buy her. That's the only way to get her. However, I shouldn't hold that the way they implemented the champion pass against Zena, Warrior Princess herself. She's actually a lot better than I gave her credit for. I think it's just like kind of one of those, I don't know, psychological things. I was just like, golly, this sucks. But she doesn't suck at all, you know? She's really good against go second teams. And I think I compared her to like a Hefrak in terms of like the tier, how I would tier her out as a nuker. But I actually think she's a bit better. I love Hefrak too, you know, and like, I don't even know why I choose him. It's very anecdotal. It doesn't really mean anything. However, I love how strong her kit is. I mean, she's ignoring target's defense for each buff on the target on the A1. Cool. She has two AoE attacks, right? Both strong AoE attacks. Both deal a lot of damage. Force Affinity Nuker. And then she's ignoring defense for each buff on the target, but she's stealing 20% of the turn meter from each enemy. So she can basically go again, right? Go again, come in with another nuke, ignore 10% of each target's defense for each buff on the target again. So against Go second team, she's insane. She's resetting the cooldown of the skill if you kill two or more enemies, so she can kind of like, she can snowball into this absolute just insane damage dealing warrior princess. you know? So yeah, and she's got for a greater good is a really good passive too, but like guys, I was wrong on Zena. I think I just held the champion pass too much against the champion. She's actually a really, really good champion. Her face was very blurry there. Zena, we love you. I love you. I love you now. I wish it wasn't the way it was, but you know, you're here now and I think you've got a great kit.
Let me show you mine.
Next up, guys, let's talk about an epic here to switch things up a little bit. And this dude, man, I mean, there's a lot of good epics in the Sylvan Watchers faction, guys, but I really haven't talked enough about good old Rider Doy. Man, he's really freaking good. There was an endgame Cursed City level that was just like, all the best teams were like using 4 Rider Doys. Like, that's how good this dude was. Even over legendaries. It was a legendary and epic Cursed City floor. It was last rotation, so I forgot, excuse me, what floor it was or whatever, but oh man, and look at me, I'm using floor. I'm using Doom Tower terminology on Cursed City. Get with it, Ash. Do you even play this game? Increase attack, increase accuracy, extra turn mechanic, and AoE decrease defense. Extra turn if the decreased defense is placed on all enemies. Dude, this guy's like a walking extra turn. He also has a chance of extra turn on his A1 ability. He deals some damage. He's bringing decreased defense. He's bringing his own increased accuracy and his own increased attack. He's a self-sufficient mofo, and I love him. I love Rider Doy. Good damage, good debuffs, and heck, you can really chain those extra turns over and over and over and over. I really, really love me some Rider Doy. All right, let's go on to the next one, guys. Let's just stick with the epics for a moment here. This guy, I mean, he's borderline in the last year, but I got to sing his praises yet again because I've been using him a lot more than I did even back in the day when I did a guide on Scoris. Scoris, I really think, is one of the top epics in the game. Like, that's how high I am on this dude. Like, it depends on what you need, obviously, but if you're looking for a provoker, like, he's the best epic provoker, not even close, right? He's got a 3-turn provoke. He's placing the provoke. You don't have to worry about weak hits on the placement. Then he's got a counterattack on himself. He's got a continuous heal on himself. Great. Counterattack leads into what? Well, it leads into his A1 where he's stealing turn meter and he's placing a stun if their turn meter is fully depleted by this skill. Why would the turn meter be fully depleted by an A1 ability that's only reducing or stealing 15% turn meter? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they have no turn meter because they just attacked him while they were under provoke, right? So then he counterattacks and stuns them. It's like the double CC that he's got going on with the A1 and the A3 synergy. It's beautiful. And then on the A2, it's an AoE attack, decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. That's polymorph proof. And then he's got the decreased attack on the AoE. And then he's filling his turn meter by 10% for each buff that has his duration decreased. Now, I don't have to tell you guys, and I'm not a math whiz here, but if there's 5 enemies on the other team, and each of these 5 enemies all have, 2 buffs, and you decrease them all, you have 100% turn meter. Well, that's pretty dang good too. That's pretty dang good too. The amount of times I've gotten essentially close to an extra turn with this a 3-turn cooldown on AoE is significant while playing this dude. I mean, this is, I'll be honest with you guys, if this was a legendary kit, I'd be like, yeah, pretty solid legendary provoker. Like, that's how good I think Scoris is. So hopefully I've made my point. Let's talk about the most obvious couple here in the game. And again, I'm going to give you a little bit of not live arena, because that would take me 20 years to go ahead and do, but I'm going to give you a little bit of live action on this dude. Let's go against the hardest team that we can find here. Man, oh man, guys. Oh golly, the power of the new king and the queen of Raid Shadow Legends. That's right, that's White and Right. White King Narcissus and White Queen Andora. I mean, I made a video the day that they were released, or the day that the White King was released, or the day after. And a few people in the comments, a lot of people agreed with me, saying they were like super busted. But there were some people who were like, dude, you're overreacting. Typical YouTuber.
Who talks like that?
That's not what you sound like. And that guy's not watching anyway. But the truth is, guys, is I think that I was beyond right on these. Like, I don't know what to say. And there, of course, Tara's trying to steal the show here. But White King Narcissus, bro. I mean, when they're together, that was my main point of the video. When they're together, there's no stopping these two, right? But White King, in himself, man, he's just one of the best nukers in the game, you know, against targets with buffs, right? And it was actually a really awful showcase that ended up being here. Obviously we would have won, but let me leave. Let me go against another team that's actually going to have buffs up. And you know what? Who cares, right? Who cares? This team, I guess, has a decent amount of buffs. I'm not even going to go in with the constant pressure on Taurus this time. I want to show you, man. First of all, White Queen and Korra, like, I really love White Queen. You know, like I went for the fusion, but I'll be real with you guys. I took my son to on vacation, right? And I wasn't paying attention to much. I was just like, I'm just gonna go for it and hopefully she's good, you know? I didn't even make a video talking about this fusion because I was traveling. However, when I came back and I started using her, I was like, dude, she's really good too. She's really, really good. And when they're together, they're incredible. Okay, here we go. It's an A2 time for White King Narcissus. I mean, everybody, Revivers just deado, and there we go. We can finish it off with Taurus. She's a great Reviver, a great support. Of course, a lot better when she's on the same team with the King. And the King, man, the King he might be my favorite nuker in the game. He's so good. All right, I've made my point, but ignore 25% of defense, place an extra hit on targets under shield or strengthen, and then on this passive, this champion's skills will ignore everything he does. Ignore shield and strengthen buffs. He's got he's insane. He's insane, man. Both of them, and Korra as well. I really love her. I'm such a big fan of these champions, clearly. All right, okay. Next. I made a whole... No, I will talk about him later. Let's talk about a rare for a second here. Let's talk about a rare. Is he a Shadowkin rare? Come on, Ash. No. He's a Knights Revenant rare. Your favorite faction, dude. How could you forget? I made a whole video on this dude. I really like Longsword Turox as a rare champion. There's a couple other rares that I've been meaning to get around to, like recently released rares that I've been meaning to get around to reviewing as well, and I will eventually. But this dude's a defense-based rare champion, and he's a nuker. He's a mini Staltus Dragonbane. He's bringing his own increased defense on a defensive-based nuker to get more damage out of his A2. It's an AoE attack, 3-turn cooldown. Before attacking, he's placing his increased defense on himself, and then he has a pretty solid 60% chance, 65% chance at a provoke, right? On an AoE. That's really good for a rare, right? Only beaten by Gnarlhorn out there. But he has a lot of damage too, which is really nice. He has a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn if the incoming damage exceeds 20% of his max HP. You don't see abilities like that, passives like that under rare. Moreover, he's counterattacking when hit by an enemy under a provoke, which he can place leeches and help heal the team as well. He's a really solid rare champion. You just don't get that many of those nowadays in Raid Shadow Legends.
All that work and what did it get me?
Nice aura too, defense and dungeons by 25%. You know what? Let's talk about, you know what? Let's cover one of the most obvious, right? And I think this is not going to come to a surprise to anybody watching, anybody. But man, those Blade Masters, they were really good. I like all the Blade Master, all the Monster Hunters out there. But Archer Queen is built different. She is a monster, a queen, a menace, a mensch. She's a mensch. I love her. She might be my favorite champion in the game.
But there's never been one like me, Gale.
Congratulations if you were able to get your hands on her. I know she eluded some of you guys out there. You've been mentioning it in the comments. She got increased accuracy. She got an AoE stun, or if it's a boss, a decreased speed. She decreased in turn meter on stuns. She's filling turn meter of allies. Are you kidding me? This is all on a 3-turn cooldown. And then, as if that wasn't enough, you come to another AoE, another 3-turn cooldown. This time you have a Hex and a Provoke. Or if it's a boss, you get the best, basically you're looking at the best provoker in the game for Hydra clan boss, bar none right there. I mean, come on. Even in wave content, like you ever try her anywhere outside of Hydra? Like if you have her, I mean, it's ridiculous. You're like, okay, I'll just stun everybody. Okay, now next turn, I'll just provoke everybody when the stun runs out. Oh, okay, I have her in Relentless. She has another turn, another stun. It's insane. She's got heal. I mean, oh, God, she is. I mean, do you think that you could probably make a really strong case to say that she's the most powerful control champion in the game, right? I mean, that's not even a strong case. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer, I think. She's missing like the arena lockout, so I guess you could say like a lockout champion, like a Meko Warlord, but whatever. Who cares? She's freaking amazing. That's all we need to know about her. I want to include a mythical on the list, guys, and I think that everybody playing is familiar just because she's a permanent fusion with Lady Mikage. What is it? Plarium, don't do it. Don't. Now I'm embarrassed. It's like the Emperor's clothes off. You saw my cheesy stock PC wallpaper in the background. Thanks a lot, Plarium. Embarrassing me halfway through my video.
I want to show you this.
All right, so Lady Mikage. Lady Mikage, guys, I think she's just... The more time that goes by, the more people recognize, the more people get their hands on her, the more people recognize how unbelievable she is. I don't think she's the best mythical in the game, but she's so unbelievably good, right? Ally attack, I mean, in the arena, she's so fast that you can put her in any arena team too, even with a polymorph. It doesn't matter. Just, you know, if you're going up against a lot of polymorph, going with ally attack. If you're not, going with the first, remove their buffs, add a weaken, put an increased accuracy on everybody. Oh, you don't want to do that? Just go ahead and stun everybody, reduce their turn meter. She does so many things that are so valuable. Honestly, like even one of these skills, she's increasing duration, she's decreasing duration. This ability is so strong. It has every increase and decrease, all four of them in one ability on a 3-turn cooldown, right? Everything about her kit just screams S tier, and she really is. You can use her anywhere in the game. You want to ally attack, or you want to use her where? In Fire Knight, sure, use her in Fire Knight. Anywhere you want to use her, you know. She's so versatile and so good. Hydra, sure, absolutely. Lady Mikage is absolutely worth fusing, and as much as I am a fan of Kira, she's all right. She's a pretty good support, and I'm actually not a big fan of Tatsu. Even if you only had one copy of these two legendaries, even if you were free to play with one copy of these two legendaries, I still think it's a no-brainer. You just trash them into a Lady Mikage. That's my opinion. You can tell me yours in the comments below. All right, guys, a couple more here. We have Epic here. I was gonna put Pan the Bowhorn on there, but like I didn't want to overdo it with him. I made a video on him. He smacks. This Emerald Salvo is a really nice damage dealing. It's kind of like Nagorio type damage, Dirindil type damage, you know? But you know, we have Nagoro, we have Dirindil, we have Flyja, we have like a lot of decent, really good Genbo, epic nukers out there in the game. So I'm not sure if he justifies being on the list, but maybe an honorable mention for him. You know who does though? Good old, I don't know why I'm looking at Sylvan Watchers. That's why you're not going to find him there, Ash. And is he Sacred Order? He's an elf. He's an elf. It's Neldor, obviously. Sorry, guys. Neldor, I mean, he is better than most legendary like multi-hitters for Fire Knight. You know, and I don't want to relegate him only to Fire Knight too. He's got triple hitter freeze on the A1. He's got a quad hitter, decrease attack, decrease accuracy, but it's a quad hitter on a 3-turn cooldown, right? And then he's got this nice juicy AoE ×2 decrease speed with a heal as well on it. I mean, he's so good for Fire Knight. He's so good for control. Whenever an ally plays a freeze debuff, this champion has a 30% chance to attack the target with their default skill. Ergo, more freezes if you have him in like a Cryo in the blue, who obviously should probably be on this list as well. Heck, I guess he is on this list, right? I mean, again, these are some chalk picks here, but Cryoden, dude, he is so unbelievably good as well. Neldor and Cryoden might be the strongest epics released in the last like 6 months or so in the game. Triple hitter freeze, AoE ×2 with the freeze. I mean, honestly, this dude, Cryoden in blue, I think I said that Skoramus is the best control. They're quite different, provoke and freeze and blah, blah, blah. But man, this guy's, back in my day, even legendaries didn't have an ability like this. Each hit 65% chance on a ×2 hitter to place a freeze on a 3-turn cooldown, and then a big version increase speed and a turn meter fill on a 3-turn cooldown again on his A3, the Blessing of the Blue. Oh, really nasty stuff there, guys. I wanted to talk about a champion that I made a whole video talking about how wrong I was on this guy. And honestly, it is, it's not Kaja, but it's actually Timoth The Fool. Really like Timoth The Fool, man. He has grown so much on me, guys. First of all, he looks freaking awesome. Like, yo, what up, Timoth? How you doing, man? I just love the court jester vibe. I don't know what it is. His A3, super strong, right? It hits hard. It's a true fear on all enemies, an increased accuracy on all allies, and again, a good damage dealing ability as well. He also has an AoE, decreasing duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. This is so nasty in the arena because you don't have to deal with sheep. You don't have to deal with polymorph with the test your strength, but it's really great, honestly, everywhere, like Faction Wars, Doom Tower waves, Curse City waves. I've been using this dude a lot in Curse City and Soul Cross, Centranos, and let me tell you, he out damages everybody, and he's just like that pivotal, like, I couldn't replace this guy. You know, you ever do a Curse City stage and like you have like 2 or 3 champions kind of locked in, you're like, yeah, those are gonna be my mainstays here. But then you have like this group that you're like, okay, who should I use here? Who can give me the best shot? Yeah, Timoth The Fool is 1A for me in a bunch of teams. This guy's very close to me, and in that context, to irreplaceable. Very, very good, Timoth The Fool. So guys, there's a lot more champions I could probably talk about here, but those are just some of them that I have found the last year have made a big impact on my account, endgame, spender, newsflash. So I imagine they've had a big impact on most people's accounts. And if they haven't, maybe you can take a moment to kind of consider maybe unvaulting them or using them. Although, you know, I think the word is out on most of these champions. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And as always, take care, guys.